Hey guys, hope you can hear me. Good afternoon. Can anybody tell me if you're getting the full screen on your screen? Can you change the mode to full screen, or are you seeing a smaller screen? Because I'm trying to set the full screen mode here, but it's not. I can't find where to do that as well. Can you guys do it on your side? Hey Vic, do you see the full screen or do you just see part? Not full. I'm not sure how to go full screen here because I don't have that option. Let me see. It just gives me the option of the screen. But to make it full screen, let me see. I can widen it, but that does not, I don't think that changes anything. Display, let me see if the display give me anything. Oh. Properties. Okay. I don't have the option to make it full screen. Let me see if that's an option. I'm going with the full screen, and that is going to be which one? Which one are we on now? It is 248, right? Okay, can you guys see it full screen now? Somebody give me a thing if you're seeing the full screen now. I think you should. It's missing the left side. Nope, still not, right? I try to go, I click the full screen here. 1 second, we'll be there. Okay, I'm not sure. Yes, let's put it there. I'll put the default and see what that does. Okay, is it better now? It's a full screen, but the left side is not full. Okay, you see the left side now? Is it better? Do you get the full screen now? Okay, I think we'll have to work with what we have. Can you see the charts clearly in the middle? Somebody give me yes on that. Same here. No, that if I zoom out, Vic, that doesn't mean you get zoom out. I have to get into the setting to make it full screen. I don't see that. Good now. Okay, it's good for everyone. Great, let's go. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the New York session. I'm glad to see so many of you here, and let's see if we can make some good trades today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the trades we had this morning, the trades we took this morning, and then we're going to go through everything, right? So let's start. We took from the bottom up. We have an entry here for the gas. This is still valid. That is not tagged as yet. It's still a valid buy setup. Right, we have that as a valid buy setup. New Zealand Swiss, you should be in this trade already. Two things you can do now. This first pullback here is not enough. That's not enough reason to close your trade. But you should get this trade to break even. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this trade here from there to break even. If you see it like that, that's an active trade that is at break even. What we would do is if this one starts to consolidate here, If this starts to consolidate here, we will close the trade, take profit, and put an entry above the top. If it goes up next, we will stay with the trade and we'll start to move that stop upwards. Now, if you're pretty happy with the profit and that's all you want, you can take profit anytime. I'm just showing you how we trade in our trading. Disclaimer, we're not making any trade calls. I'm showing you how I trade using wave analysis. Now, it's up to you to make any decisions what to do with this stuff. Treat this as entertainment, learn something from it, do whatever you want with it. If you like what we do, if you like the way I analyze charts and what I do and all the work I'm doing, and if you would want to learn to do this stuff, we have a live course starting on the 26th of this month. So you can join either the full live course where you will be trained to do this the way I do it and you become an independent trader of your own. You will have lifetime access. Once you finish the course, you're going to have lifetime access to the group. That means you can be with us for as long as you want, as much as you want. You will be successful and then you will be helping other traders. We have that already in the group where successful traders are helping traders who are struggling and new traders who are coming. There will be no charge for that. Just for the platform we're using, and that's a tiny $4 a month. It doesn't go to me, it goes to Facebook Workplace. At any time, if we find a free platform, we're going to move. But that's the best platform we found so far in terms of protecting the videos we have and the space and everything else. Right? So that's all. You get lifetime access complimentary. You don't have to do anything. Now, if you're like the funny guy, if you look at the last comments on my last video and you're like that funny guy who's following me, watching all my videos, probably he's a signal service trader. He's taking signals from me, reselling them, and then he's coming to say, well, I don't like your videos. But dude, you've been watching it for 4 years. If you don't like something, but you still do it for 4 years, that says a lot about you, not about me. Sorry. If I don't like something, goodbye. That's it. I watch videos online for like 3 minutes and that's about it. After that, I'm off because I don't like what I'm seeing. In 5 minutes, I can make a decision that that is crap and I'm out of there. If it takes you 4 years to decide that I don't like what you're doing, but I'm still going to stick around, then something is wrong with you. Literally, something is wrong with you. So I'm hoping that all of you who are here like what I do. Now, if you're new, if you're absolutely new, great. Have some patience. Watch one video, then if you like it, watch another one. And if you don't like it, well, you know what to do. Let's go with that said. So this is a valid trade and it's still active. The next active trade we had was this one. This trade is still valid and it's still active. Now we are in this trade for 1, 2, 3 hours. We just made a new low. That means if it stays here for the next hour, if this hour closes here and the next hour starts to go up, close the trade or you can put it to break even. If it stays here as a consolidation, we'll put another entry here for the trade to go. Now, you may say, have we changed the forecast on the trade going down? Nope, we haven't changed that forecast. Why close the trade? Because if it's not going now, it will probably go up and then come back down. That means we will change the forecast, but not as yet. So let me explain that to you, what that means, and you're going to learn something here for free. If you want to know what's happening in here, and this is exactly what's happening here because you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Orders have been filled. It's very simple. I'm going to put it to the 1 minute so you can see what's happening in there. When you come to the 1 minute chart, what you can see, at every given point that you see this thing stop and turn, come back, stop, turn, come back, there is an order that is being filled in it. And if you go to the ticker, if I had a ticker, then you will see exactly all the orders. A ticker is where the order is entered and it creates a slight movement up or down. So if there's a buy, it will either fill all the sell orders and bring it down, or all the sell orders will take up that buy and move upwards, right? Or move downwards, sorry. So orders start to fill. We are expecting this to drop. That means what I'm telling you is I expect a big sell order to come in and drop this. The order should be bigger enough to take up all these orders that are buy orders here, to grab them and drop, which means fill them really fast and move on. If at any point in this chart it is hit with an order that can bring it up back here, or enough orders to bring it up back there, what that means is buy orders are a lot. They're coming in a lot. They're always buy orders, right? Don't fool yourself that there is none. There are always buy orders and sell orders. The question is, where are they? So, and people like to guess where they are. I don't know where they are, and I'm not in the guessing business, because you will know where they are by what the chart is telling you. So what the chart told me here is that it was going down as I expected, but guess what? It hit some buy orders. It's filling the buy orders. Dropped, the buy orders are filled, but then there are more buy orders to be filled, and you can see they're filling orders. So when you fill orders, it's called a point of equilibrium. A point where both sides of the market has agreed that at this range they would like to fill all their orders. People who wants to buy and people who wants to sell like to do it exactly this price. This price is good for them. But at some point in time within the day, today or tomorrow, there is going to be an overcome of one of those orders. They're going to be at this balance of the orders, which means there will either be more buy orders coming in or more sell orders coming in. And since you do not know which is going to come in, and I do not know which is going to come in, what I'm saying to you is that, okay, we still think this thing is going to go. We still think that the sell orders are going to come in more than the buy orders based on the patterns that we see. But it seems like they're not coming in the volume we expected. So we're going to exit this trade. We're going to close this trade, and we're going to wait for another setup that says that this balance is about to break. And then we will re-enter the trade. Everything you see in this chart is about orders being filled and what pattern they create. Now, I've seen the dumbest thing I've ever seen in Forex trading and in most trading is the traders talking about liquidity existing in these charts. Now, if you ever see that and you ever follow it or you ever try to learn it, you may as well stop trading. Because anywhere in this chart, there is no liquidity. The definition of liquidity is having liquid cash or having assets that you can liquidate very quick. That's the whole point of liquidity. You have cash to fulfill all your payments that you have to pay, or you have enough assets to sell quick and fulfill those payments. And what happens to people who don't have liquidity? They go bankrupt. Ask all the banks that went bankrupt because they couldn't fulfill the request to return the money that people wanted. And when they tried to borrow or tried to sell your assets, people said, sorry, your assets are toxic, we don't want it. As the broker company that went bankrupt, the big crypto company. It's not like they wake up the next day and they don't have clients or they don't have cryptos. It's that the next day they wake up and they don't have liquid cash to fulfill their obligations. And that means you either find it from somebody, borrow, sell your asset or whatever, or go bankrupt. If you're trying to sell your asset and nobody's buying it, I think Binance refused to buy them. The bank refused to give them more credit. They owe money, they have to pay back the money, so you file for bankruptcy because there is no liquidity. Now that's liquidity. Anything else you see in the chart as to where liquidity is in the chart is crazy talking. It's like saying smart money concept or we are trading with the big boys. Yeah, anybody who tell you they're trading with the big boys, well, they're probably doing something with the big boys, but not trading. I don't know what they're doing with the big boys, but no big boy is going to tell you what he's doing in terms of trading. If you mean the big companies and the big banks, they don't have a direct line to you to tell you what they're doing. And you don't know what they're doing. Most times, they don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. Because they don't know if a client is going to call them in 10 minutes and say, hey, I would like to convert $1 billion of this money. Can you do it for me? Or $1 million of this money. Can you do it right now? They don't know that. They don't have that information. So anyone who tells you that is telling you crazy talk. Look at the charts and try to understand what the chart is doing. That's what we do here. Right? So with that, let's move on. Next one. Euro New Zealand. Sell setup, got tag, stay here. Go to the hourly, see what it's doing there. It's kind of tag you, go up, come back. If you're in my group, and any of my traders are in the group will tell you that when this tag you go there, come back here, and it start to go back up, we close that trade. The stop for this trade would have to be somewhere here or somewhere there. Remember, it's a big trade to the downside. It means that it's going, but there is not enough liquidity to drop it. Now you realize I didn't put this as a trade. And the reason I didn't put this as a trade because I know that the possibility of this exists is there, right? And remember what I told you. We're expecting it to do this. One more up like that. Make that flat and then drop. But it's a sell setup if you know how to manage the trade, which means you should be out of that trade. Now, what if you're not out of the trade? Well, close it now. That's the best next option you have. Close it now for a very small loss. Can it still drop? Yes, your entry order should be here now. Your entry order should be under the low. Why would you put your entry order under the low? Well, it's very simple. If they're going to still drop, which means if the sell order still come in here, it's going to do this and you get your trade. If they don't have sell orders and you have buy orders, guess what happens? The market will move towards where the sell orders are. If I want to buy and you are selling, I have to buy at the price you are selling. And if you are selling at the price here, I have to move my order to buy there. Right? This is where you sell. And if I bought everything I need and you still want to sell, the price is going to go this way. But I wouldn't be entering the trade here. I'll probably enter the trade here. That's the difference. So since we don't know whether this has enough orders to go, but the pattern says it can go, great. They broke the low. For me, that's enough. Once you broke the low, if you don't go, you're not going. So we'll close the trade. We'll put the entry here. Still a valid trade. So I'll still leave it there. Euro, remember I told you this morning, all of you who were there this morning, if you were there this morning, you better go watch that video because this is a learning moment for you. I said this looks upside, but we're not buying it because the most it can probably do is break this stop and come back down. This morning, when we were at this level, we were here, right? Remember we were here? And I was like, well, there is no good risk to reward trade in this. So I'm not buying it. But if it's going to come back here, I want this sell. Because the possibility is they can also break out. So I would let it break the top. I would let it come back. I would let it make a flag and then I'll sell it. Works like magic every time. Now, here's the thing why wave analysis work. You can't guess that shit. Anybody who tell you can guess that it's going to go there, stop, turn, and come back here, is either psychic or crazy. You can't guess that. This is what we've learned from past experience of patterns, how they behave. So you know when to take risk and when not to take risk. Now I said to you, this is not a good trade to risk your money on. Stay away from it. If it gives you the sell, we will go for the sell. If it gives the buy, we will ignore it. Because there is no money to get there. There's no. If you jump in that buy and you can get deep, I don't know where you jump in, but if you jump in at the top here, you're in panic mode right now. Because you have no idea what to do. You don't even know what it's going to do. And I'm telling you what I think it can do. What I think this can do is this can make a nice little flag here. And we will be selling that flag to come back to the bottom here. We will be looking for first this running flat. And then go back up. And then drop. Or we will be expecting this to drop straight to the bottom and then go right back up to the top. I showed that pattern this morning. I'll show you again. You should watch these videos that I'm doing, every one of them, and you should watch it more than once. You will learn something. You would not learn to do wave analysis as yet. I can tell you that. I'm not giving you a big secrets here. I'm just showing you how it behaves, but you wouldn't learn how to actually do it on your own. But you can understand basic concept of it. You can recognize it. To learn how to do it, you'll have to join and do the whole course. So we would wait for this to come here, and it will come here, and there's a chance it could still go back there and then come here and then go. If it stays like this, it will come here, and I showed you this flat. See that flat there? Drop, break the low. See, they broke the low there, and then go right back up. So we could expect a similar pattern here. Come here, do this, break the low, and then go back up. Or this one takes off like a rocket. Well, guess what? If that takes off like a rocket, we'll be in the buy, but not this buy here. It has to come down first and then go back. So when it's coming down now, we're looking for a sell setup. That has not changed. Here's the thing. Can it still go back up? Yes, I'm still not buying it. I'm still not buying it because I don't see potentially a big move to the upside. So if we get a flag here, we will sell. If we don't get a flag and I see structural change, like we come tomorrow and there's a different pattern, we will look at that and decide if it's a buy setup now. But as of now, until we complete something here that makes sense, that tells us that structurally this can go up now, we see that pattern, then we will go with it. As of now, no, it's a sell setup, so we're waiting for that. And the next one we had was the silver. It's still a sell. It's going up higher. The higher it goes, the less the sell will be, right? So if this works its way up like this, more like the top here, then we will expect it to come back here. And this will become a buy. But that will be tomorrow. That would likely be tomorrow. That wouldn't be today. Today you could still get a sell. and depends where we'll take the sell. The higher this go, the more you take this off, right? The less this is possible. So if this gets to the top here, we can still get a sell setup, but it would only be this move if you can get it from the top here. Because now you will get a flat like this and you go up. See this one here, when it did all of this and it came here, this was your buy. We actually bought that, right? But this was, I think, was a news event that drive that up so fast. So once you see this flat, you kind of understand. We'll get the same thing here. And gold, we were waiting for the sell setup. Let's see if it's still valid. You can say it's still valid. Put it like this now. It's still valid. If you get a sell setup here, that'd be a good trade, but it's very short term. See, it's only a trade to come here, and I believe there's a high probability of them going up back. So if we get a little flag here and we want to sell it to the end of 15, we could probably do that. Let's see the 15 minutes if we have a flag for a sell. Nope, not as yet. If we get a flag, we'll sell it. It's still going up. That's not a buy setup and it's not a sell setup as yet. But if we get it, we can sell it. Right? So we will watch this to sell it to come back to this level and then go. If you're a very aggressive trader, but this is still very small. If you're a very aggressive trader, you can put an inch order here. And I'm not making a trade call again. I'm saying if you're a very aggressive trader, which means what I mean by that is if you have the ability to manage a trade if it should attack you. Now, when they do like this, the higher probabilities, my voice is a little hoarse because I might be getting a little cold. I don't know if it's there as yet or it's some virus. So you'll excuse me if I accidentally cough. If this goes up a little more, if it comes back to this stop, we will take this entry order off and we'd look for, it will come here, but then it becomes a buy setup. It will become more of a bigger buy setup structure. In the bigger picture of things, don't worry about that trade much because it's not a big trade. We're still in this. The bigger trades become when this consolidation is finished and it starts to move, right? When not this trade is not such a big trade. This one would be a better one, and the up one would be a good one, but then the drop would be the bigger one. Once they completed this flat, the drop would be. I hope by the end of this week we do that, and if you get in that sell, you can stay in it for a week or two more. So. The next one we had a setup in New Zealand, by the way. Yeah, I skipped the New Zealand. New Zealand would be the same thing. You're in it for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours already. You would take break even in the trade and put an inch order above the top. Right? That's what you're gonna do because from there it can go both sides. If it's gonna come down, we don't have a sell setup as yet. If it's gonna come down, it has to come like this. Make a flag here and then we will sell it. And we'll sell for a breakthrough here. If we're going up, we could just continue to go. But don't make the assumption that it's going to continue to go and stay with the trade because then you're going to get yourself in trouble. We're looking for the CAD. We're not interested in the sell. It did go down a little. It's coming up. We still don't have the buy setup. And very likely they're still going to go down some more. Right? This thing is going to crawl down slowly. It may or may not break this low. And then we look for the buy setup. This line is irrelevant. Let me take it out so it wouldn't confuse you. The bigger pattern is this one actually. This is the bigger pattern you're looking at. This big sideways. And we're right now in this one. Right? This is making a flat here. We should go back up there, come here. And if that happens, we could be stuck sideways here for a while before we go. It could probably do this for a while. So maybe the whole of summer we'll be trading in a range. Until maybe November and then it takes off. So we'll see. But it's a tradable range. It's pretty huge. You can make a lot of good trades. So we're looking for a buy setup here. We don't have the buy setup as yet. When we get it, we'll go with that. Euro Oz. This one also, it's at the bottom here. And it's not really going anywhere. So we're looking for a buy setup. This normally is a small channel that breaks to the upside for either for a deeper correction or for total upside. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll mute myself. Tell me if I'm muted, somebody. I think I'm muted. Let me see. I'll mute all of them just to make sure that I am muted. Okay, I hope I was muted and you didn't have to bear the consequence of my coughing. So let's go. We can look for a buy setup here if this is gonna break up and then come back down, or if it's gonna continue to go up. When they start to do like this, it's the same thing. Orders are being filled in a very tight range, but the range is downwards, and there are two type of patterns that happens when it's downwards. The first pattern is a channel. The first pattern is a channel, and the second pattern is a running flat. And since you can differentiate the two from, they're structurally the same, we have, for the channel, we normally use an entry order above the top, and for the running flat, you let it break the structure. You see right now the structure is not really broken. It has to break out of the structure and consolidate under the structure before we sell. That confirms that what we had there was a small running flat. They're both actually the same structurally. You wouldn't be able to. The Euro CAD, we were looking for a buy setup. Let's see if we have it. If you bought this, I'll call it the break even. If you bought that a break even, we're looking for the bigger buy. I think we're going to go down first. So you have 1, 2, 3. See this here? This is going to come down here first. We're going to come back here. Remember, we said that this piece, it wasn't here this morning, it was here, and we thought this would drop here and then go back up, right? So we put an entry order here just in case, and that didn't break out. So there's a short sell here if you're interested. It's just going to come to about this level and then look for this trade up. When it gets there, we'll sell it. We'll look for this buy as well. So the trade we're looking for is this impulse if we can get it, right? This one would probably come and break the low. This piece here will drop and break the low. Let me show you this piece. This here, this small one here, is likely going to drop and break this low here. Just break the low. I don't think they're going to go very far. Once the low is broken, you can call it a day. So if you want that small trade, if you think you're capable of handling it, I think there's a high probability of that going here. And then from here, we're looking for this sharp one up. So I would wait for the sharp one up. I'll wait for this to go down. And then we want this straight up to the top. Now, how far this is going to go is how deep this goes is anybody's guess. It could actually even break the low. I'm not planning on it breaking the low, but it could break the low. So this comes here. It could not even get there in a straight line. It could probably start doing this, like come here, tag this, do this, tag here, do this a few times, and then go. And then we'd look for this buy, and then we'll sell it again. So the buy is the safer trade in terms of the risk to reward you're going to get in the trade also. Euro New Zealand, we already looked at it. You close it, it's still a sell setup for now. The Euro Swiss, we had a buy setup. Okay, you're supposed to put the entry order. We didn't put it, but if you put this entry order and you got that trade, good for you. At the top there now, be careful, because now what we are expecting is that this is going to come back here. I don't think we're breaking out. I think we will still be in this range here for this entire range here for a while. So if you're in this trade, if you took this trade here and you're at the top there, you better take profit, because from that point we will start to look for a sell setup. So I'll change this to looking for a sell setup. From the top, it could break this top, but once it breaks that, we're looking for a sell setup. I don't think we will get a buy setup here as yet. If this is a 1, 2, 3, wait for it to break the top and make a flag, and that's a trade for tomorrow. But from here, they can come back down. Euro Pound, and we were here this morning, and I said we're not selling it. If you remember, we're not selling this here no matter what happens. We want it to go up, we wanted to make a flag, and then we want this trade here. So it went up, no flag, wait for the flag, see this one here? Wait for the flag, take the flag, upside, it's going to probably consolidate all of this session. We might be stuck here for a while. And then tomorrow, that is a good trade. You take that trade, and then we sell. All right, one more downside. The big picture is upside. So we will definitely buy this. Because if I'm wrong about this being the running flat, and it's some kind of a contracting flat or whatever else it is, it's going to go up really fast. Yep, move your stop very tight to the top or take it off if it consolidates there, Joji. Right, because this sharp one here, see the sharp one? I don't think that's a C wave of the structure, because this one is not that corrective. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes this, come back here, go back there, come back here, go there, and then drop, because all in all it might be one of this, one more down and then the upside. We might get the upside only after 4 hours. See, I don't think the depth of this is ready to go up as yet. So the depth might be one more down here, like we forecast. This one might come one more down here eventually, right? And then go up there and then come down. That's the second forecast, right? The first one is this breakout. I think we had this on Friday, this breakout. And the second one, this comes here and breakout. I think the downside is more likely now, because it's becoming a flat. So Good job. Keep your eyes on it. Once it gets you, just keep your eyes when it breaks the top. It could break this top and then see what happens. Euro pound we looked at already. Pound Swiss, we're looking for a sell setup. Right? It's at the top. It will probably break the top and then we'll start to look for a sell setup. This didn't break out, so there's a chance that we get a running flat. There's a good chance this comes back here, retest the top and then come down. It will come down. This is a very big structure and we have been trading this both sides because we understand what it's doing. This is the big structure. So if you're here with us to the end of the week, right? The hope is that this comes here, we get that trade, and then this one could come here and make a few more of that before they go. We're not looking at the patterns as it is right now, but you get a point. That is what we're looking for, and then we're gonna get this out of this structure to the top here. Now we have one of those active right now. We're in that trade. I still have a trade from last week in it. We had 3 trades last week, close to positive, and I'm still in one of them. That's the New Zealand CAD. I can show you that right now. Very similar structure. The New Zealand CAD. We're trading this as a long term. Very similar structure to that. You got a sharp move. You got a correction. You're going back to the top, and we are in from the bottom here. So the first trade last week was here, the second trade was here, this was the third trade. I'm still, at this trade I closed, this is the one I'm still in. That one I didn't take because I was in this one already. Some of the traders who weren't in took that one, they closed it here. If you close it, you did the right thing. If you keep it, you did the right thing. I'm still in it. Now, there's a good chance that this sharp wave we haven't got, and we're getting a 1, 2, 3, so we might get a pullback here. Go for running flat and upside. So now you can put a buy entry above this top here. That's the top. This is showing you where that top was. Put a buy entry there now. If you put a buy entry there, put a stop. I would not go all the way to the bottom here. We'll probably put it slightly under this a while. Like give it a 15 pips under the low. You're not letting it come back here to take you out. You notice we don't let them go back to take us out for the stop loss. Okay, you took this one up. If you take this one up, you got to be careful now. It is a small trade if you take it. You may want to take it. We don't know how deep this comes before it goes. So you'll be back. If you took off the profit, well done. Good job. So this is going to go back up because I think this thing is big time upside. See? And we broke the low and we're going back up. So good. I think we're ready for that upside. There's going to be a lot of corrections, but I'll only take off my trades on the big corrections. We're trying to keep this some long-term, some short-term trades. So it's a buy setup right now. If you took it this morning already, you may want to take profit off, not keep that one. And so we can put this as a buy setup now. Put this as a buy setup. New Zealand yen, we didn't do anything with it because it had already gone. But if you had the entry order information session, sorry, this one here. If you had the entry order, you took it off for break even. But we didn't take it because that trade was already gone. We're looking for the sell setup on this one. So once we get a sell setup here, I can put this wait for a flag to sell. We're going to put this as waiting for a flag to sell here. We're waiting for this to give us a sell setup. Let's see if we get it. If they come back and they drop, we'll take that trade. What else we had? We didn't have anything else with setups on them. Those were the trades. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to look at all the majors again. And then I'll look at trades where there are setups. My traders, you'll tell me which one has setups on them, and we will go with that. I think we can look at the dollar. Swiss has a nice setup. Let's start. So dollar index. Good afternoon once again to those of you who just joined us. Right? If you're not really grasping what I'm saying here and why we are doing any of this, stick around for the week. It's free. You have nowhere to go. If by the end of the week I'll give you something interesting to join us. We'll probably continue the promotion we started the last time for those of you who haven't joined then but would like to join now. We might extend your installment if you join the installment to the end of July, so you might get a chance to learn something. I can tell you from those traders who joined the last installment, we gave them the first payment 2 months. At least I would say from all the traders, at least 5 people already paid out full. They didn't wait to the end of the 2 months. They already paid it out full because they realize what they're getting is a value and they want to join this course that is going to start on the 26th. So we gave you that opportunity because we know that once you join and you see the group and you see what we do, there's no second to it in the world. I don't know of any other group that does this much for traders that we do. And it's all free. We do not have a subscription. What you're joining is not a subscription. There's not a monthly payment and a 3 months payment and a 1 year payment. This is you're paying for the course. You can pay it as fast as you can or as slow as you possibly can. Right? So let's go with that. I'm going to go through all the majors. Pedro. So, dollar index. It kind of come here, break the low, it's going back up, right? So now that we've broken the low, the only question I have is, if we break the low, can we assume that that was all the correction and they're trying to go back up for this one? That's the move we want. Well, if you give us a flag here, we will buy it. If we don't get a flag, the chances are they're going to drop one more. I still don't like the sell. I didn't like the sell this morning and I still don't like it now. So we'll wait for the upside and then we'll take the trade. Silver, still a sell, but like I said, the higher they go, the less you want to sell it because the possibility is just a flat. Gold, the sell side is still valid. Sorry. But if this goes up too high, we'll take it off because you'll get a flat here and then you'll get one more up. It wouldn't come back this low, so you wouldn't get a trade. But as of now, I think it's already not valid as it stands right now. See, because they're going up to the top, so you may want to take this off. This will probably go higher. I think we'll take this off because it's going to come back. If they go higher, it's going to come back just about here. And then it's going to go up from there. So you would have to manage a different trade entry. Right, a different entry in this, because once they get to the top here, you're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 come back down like this and then go back up. So there's no big trade to the downside anymore. It's going to be more like this, See this here? 1, 2, 3. See what happened? This goes break the top, come back down. So if you get the same flat here right now, what they're going to do is come here, break the top again, and then come back down. So let's see. Maybe we're going to get a trade or sell set up eventually. Euro, if it gives us a flag, we sell. The structure, the trade we're looking for is this one. First, if we get a flag here, if we get a small flag here, we want it back to this level and maybe upside again, then we'll buy it here. Or if it breaks through, break this low, go here and then start the upside. Because it's a big one and we don't know whether it ended here. But if to tell us that the buy is ready, this has to come down back. If you don't get the sell, then go for the buy. Which means if this just drop in one piece like that and you don't get a sell setup, any buy setup you get here will take it. Because this would be the flat we're looking at. That might be tomorrow morning. Pound, coming down, good, that's what we want. Remember this morning we saw this and we said, well, okay, if you take this trade, be very cautious. It's likely going to come back down. Right, it's a buy setup, but be careful. That's why that arrow is there to break the top, come back. So let's see. We're looking for a sell setup, and the chances are we might come all the way to this one, to the bottom there. Wait for a flag, sell it. I don't know if any of my traders took the aggressive trade above, below the last impulse. It's going well, but for the rest of us, wait for a flag. Especially now, because if you're not in the trade from the aggressive entry, you don't have a chance. This could still be an expanding flat. You want to exclude the possibility of an expanding flat, which means you want this here to make a flag, and that becomes your trade to the downside. Patience. You wait for the flag, you'll get the trade. Wait for a flag, sell. Aussie. You could still buy the Aussie. It's going up slowly. It's not, we're almost, yeah, it looks like we might be going up, and this might just be a deep correction in that impulse, and we're totally going up. So any flag you get at the top here is short-lived because there's a deeper correction that is coming. I want to pull back like this. That would be great. If we get a pull back like that, it will really be a good help for the buy. And we're not getting it. But you're getting another buy setup here. It's worth taking. It's going to be a short one. So if you get a setup like that and they go, they'll probably just do this. And then let's hope we can get this out of the way so we can buy it. Right? If we get that out of the way, then we can buy it. Aussie, sorry, the same one, right? This morning we were having problem with which one to use. I think this one is back to normal. Yeah, it's back to normal, so we can use it now. New Zealand, we took this trade here. If you took it this morning, it went there, we just closed it, put an entry above the top. It's still valid for the upside. Can it come down? It can come down, and it can probably even go one more lower. The only thing you'd wait for is that let this come here and then wait for a flag here. Because this can stop and go up. That's why we have an entry there. But if you get a flag here, we'll be looking for a sell setup to retest this low. That sell should be okay. Let it confirm that they're actually going down. We don't know that they're going down. One second, guys. This coughing is getting a little out of hand. Okay, I hope we can get to the end of this week and we don't have to move it to next week. So we're waiting for this to come back here, and then a little of this, and then we're looking for this trade. That would be an amazing trade if that happens. So just wait for it. I would leave this. I would take off that now, and we leave it open, both sides. Okay, yen came down as expected. It came here. We're not looking for a sell as yet. I'm not even looking for a buy because the chances is going to come here. If we get a good flag here, we'll go for this trade. And then you're going to have 1, 2, 3, which is going to come back here. So the sell, if it gets here, the sell is a good idea. The buy is a good idea. Don't try to sell it from here. That's useless. There's no point in that. So it depends on if we get the buy set up, we take it. But we'll definitely get the sell set up. Because the sell is an impulse like this. See? This is the impulse. This is all correction. This is the impulse. This is all correction. This is the impulse. And then up. So this trade is going to be a good one, and this will be a good one this week. Right? So we'll go with that. And Swiss. It's going up. So if you take the trade, it made the pullback, right? We wanted this pullback here. And you got that pullback there. So now you get this. And if you took that trade, some of my traders probably not. Just be careful when it comes here because they can go back then again. All right, so remember the one we're looking for is this piece here. This little messy piece that we have here, that is what we're looking for here now. Oh, you're probably all of that. So guess what? We can go with a sell setup. All right, we can assume that this is going to drop and come back to the lows. That will be somewhere here. The move down we'll be looking for should be an equivalent to this one. I hope it goes better than the way this one went down. We should be getting something like this. It doesn't necessarily have to go from this point, right? Something like this we should get. And then from there, I think it's going to be all upside. I don't know, can this one go up? It can, but I don't like that structure. I like the structure I have on right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wait to see if we get a sell set up here. Come here. If this is the one going out and you're not in that trade, if you're in that trade, you'll just manage it. If you're not in that trade, let it break out. Make a flag here, and then we'll take that trade up. All right? Let it come out of this, make a flag here, and then you take this trade up. And let's hope it doesn't stop here. Let's hope it just do this. So we're going to hope that it just do that. All right, this structural is going to go up. The only question is whether it comes back here first. And that means we're going to look for a sell setup because the possibility for that is really high. Once we got this 1, 2, 3, we were expecting that, and it looks like they're doing exactly that. So now we just have to look for the sell setup. Come back to the bottom here. CAD. I already told you what we're doing with the CAD. It's kind of making new lows. You're making another flat here. You're probably going to drop one more. Once it drops here, we're going to put an entry order here for the buy. I don't think we should put the entry order as yet. Unless you want to be really aggressive. Did we break all the lows? We didn't break this low, so there's no point putting the entry order. No, we didn't break this low. So that means we're going back to the top, and then we're going to drop again. We're coming back here, and then they're probably going to drop again. And let's hope that's a reversal with a flag here, and then we go. Right, so can we sell this to the downside? I think if we get a setup, we can sell it. We sold this one, so if we get a setup, we can sell it. The big picture of this is upside. Let me show you the trade you're waiting for. A lot of traders look at this in there and say, why are we buying it as yet? Well, you're trading for trouble if you're trying to trade in here. Try to get this trade. I try to get this trade here. I'm trying to get that trade there. Don't try to get the little pieces in here. That's more of a headache. If you think you can get in there, I'm not saying you can, but you're setting yourself up for a lot of trouble that's unnecessary. Wait for the buy setups. Let's get it. Euro was also the same thing. Euro CAD something, the same thing. So Euro CAD might give you a sell now. I don't want to sell. You guys can take it. Here's an aggressive trade, very aggressive trade if you want. I mean super aggressive trade. Let's go to the 5 minutes. Put an entry under the low. Put a stop above the top. And come here. That's an aggressive trade if you're willing to take a loss. Why? Because it can just come to about here, tag you to the top, come back to the bottom, and then go. You're in a correction. And the assumption of how that correction is going to behave is thing. But there's a very high probability that it will just do like this and then go back up. It's about a 1-to-1 risk to reward trade if you look at it. Very aggressive. Short, you're shorting here, you're putting an entry above the top here, a stop there, sorry, and you're targeting about 1 here. Yeah, just about 1-to-1. That's a very aggressive trade if you like. I'm not going to put it as a trade as yet because we're waiting for the buy setups. I'm going to go with the conservative traders and wait for this to make that trade up. That should give you about 2-to-1. You're in New Zealand. Yep, we closed this already. The entry order is under the low. I still like this sell. Let's see, Euros, Yen we're looking for a sell setup this morning in the Euro Yen. We don't have anything as yet. They didn't break the top. Let them break the top. So this might be making its own flat here, separate of the whole thing. This might be a separate flat forming here. Let it come down here and then there will be a buy setup if you want, but it's not going to go far. Actually, if we get it from this point, if we get a buy setup from here going up, this could be a trade because you're going to go for this one, an entry out of here and a stop here for this trade. That would make sense. Let it do that, and if it does that, we get the trade. Euro Swiss, this one is at the top. It could go a little more. It might even break this top. The bigger picture of this is upside. The entire big picture, if you look at it from a big picture point of view, it's upside. The only thing we don't know is whether this is a flat that will make one more low and then go, or whether this piece is a big flat for upside. This here is a big flat for upside. It's rare when you get a big flat like this here and then they go. Normally they will break the low first and then go. So let's see if they break the low. If you're in the trade already, just move your stops. When it breaks the stop, see if we get a reversal. Euro pound, I like this trade, wait for a flag buy. So this is wait for a flag now. Oh yeah, we're waiting for a flag to buy, sorry. Wait for a flag buy and make a small flag here, we'll buy it. Pound house, let me go through really quick. Okay, this will probably break this low. We didn't have a setup to sell this morning, but it came down, and just wait because there's a high probability this is an expanding flat and we go up. So once the low is broken, if we see any turn, we're going to go with the turn for the upside. If it's going to continue to drop, then any flag it makes, we sell. So we just broke the low. I think we just broke this low. I'll take this out so it doesn't confuse you. We'll put it on back when it starts to go. So what you can do at this point here now is any consolidation from here becomes a sell. Any up move that does this and make a flag, we're buying. So you have a trade in about 6 hours. Pound CAD should be similar. This one came down back. You're in the middle of this flat. This morning we looked at it. It's a little lower than we expected. You can put it like this maybe. It could still go a little low. That's not a sell setup. That's a buy setup. And the problem with this is that it might not go very far. It might just do this. And then downside. So let's see what the big picture is now. Go into 4 hours. So in the 4 hours, this comes here. We broke this low. They could take off right now or they could come back down. I think the takeoff is very good because this is really sharp. See this here? That's a really sharp move. A small flag, a small flag. I think this could become a bigger flat. This one comes here, go back up to the top, come back down, and then take off. So let's look at it in the 50 minutes. Okay, let it come to the bottom here and then we buy. We're going to expect first this move. We're going to go for this move first. So it comes here, go give us a flag, we go for that move. And then if we're lucky, they actually take off. If we're not so lucky, then they come back as a 1, 2, 3. And then go. Most times, we're very unlucky and they do this. You get this trade and then they come back, do this, and then we buy again. Can we sell this? Well, we sold this one, so we can sell it again. Watch this for the upside. Look for the buy setup. Pound Yen, let's see what Pound Yen has. Okay, anybody took the sell? Come on, my traders, anybody took the sell? Nobody sell the pong in? Okay, sorry, I have to wait for 30 seconds. I keep forgetting that we're not on Zoom. So, if you haven't sold it, wait for this to make a flag, and then go for the sell. Wait for a 1 hour flag, not the 250 minutes flag are gone. You had 250 minutes flag here. Sell setup, sell setup. If you didn't take those, wait for an hourly flag now. Sorry. It's gonna stop and it's gonna make a 1 hour flag. That will take about 4 to 6 hours, and then we'll get a trade to the downside. Okay, Charles. At least one person did. So wait for it, and then we're gonna go. Pound Swiss, we don't have any trade. Wait for the downside. Pound New Zealand, we close this. I think we close it. You can close. Let's see if this doesn't break out now. I don't think it's gonna break out. 3 hours passed already. Yeah, but if you want to close this and re-enter, I think we made a new low. So wait for this to close. Wait for this candle to close, and if it doesn't break out of that sideways move, then put it in 50. Okay, my voice is going really fast. So here, if this doesn't break out of this and go, close the trade here. Put an entry under the low. This will probably pull back like this and then drop. Possible running flat there. But if it breaks and go now, just let it go. Aussie CAD. No trades. It didn't pull back enough. There was a pullback here, but I don't like that. Let's wait and see if it makes a better flag, and then the trade is to the upside. We're breaking out of this, so this is total upside. We're looking for a buy setup, but you don't have a clear pattern there. This one was short, it didn't come back, and that one is not coming back. Let me see in the 15. Yeah, I hate to use this one. Let's see if we get a deeper pullback here. Let's see if this one makes a deeper pullback, and then we can go with this flat and upside. If not, let them consolidate here by. Let it stay in that sideways consolidation for a while, and then we buy it tomorrow. Aussie Swiss, this one is going up some more. We were here this morning, it went up a little more, but the big picture is downside, so be careful with any buys. If you're going to buy anything at the top there, you want it to pull back like this, and then we will buy. As it stands, the higher probability is that it comes back to the bottom here. Maybe even like this, go back up there and then drop, right? Because we have the sharp pullback in here. So best thing to do is wait for a sell setup. We don't have a sell setup, but wait for the sell setup. The buy is not really moving far. We were here this morning, so we didn't like move a lot. Aussie yen, we don't have anything. It's coming down, by the way. Let's see in the big picture. Yeah, we still want this one here first before we go. See? We're looking for this move down. An equivalent of this, yeah, like that. Bring this move down here, and then we will get this one. And then the upside. So let's see if we get that. That's a trade we're looking for. Let's see if we can get it. There was a 15-minute flag, very aggressive. Probably still valid if you want. Put an insurer here. If you don't get into that, wait for a bigger one, downside. I like this one actually. It's probably gone. Wait for the next flag, then sell. And most likely, if you're new to this, you may want to wait for a 1 hour flag, because that's more confirmation of a better move. Right, a 1 hour flag gives you more confidence in the trade. Aussie New Zealand, wait for this to break the top here, and then turn. We'll be selling. New Zealand CAD. You can put the entry under there. Now it could come a little deeper because I'm expecting them to do this. Something like this. Give me a flat here, and then total upside. New Zealand yen. Okay, look for the sell setup. Let's see where we are at the top. This is the big drop here. See that big drop? You're consolidating. We'll look for the sell. You want to make sure you wait for the flag, because you want to exclude the possibility of a running flat here. And you want to exclude that possibility. So you want this to stop here and make a flag, and then we go for the sell. It will make a flag, it always does. Don't worry about it. There's a 115-minute flag in there that is gone already. Right, this one. So wait for it to come beyond this point. I don't think it is going to make a running flat to this. This looks like a correction of its own, totally. You know, it doesn't look like it needs anything more. So I think this is going to make any flag and drop. Just wait for the 1-hour flag. So we'll be looking for a sell setup here. And New Zealand Swiss. This trade is still good. This could still go. They're making a small consolidation here. Now this is up to you where you want it. It's only 3 hours, so I wouldn't be really worried about it. But if you want to take profit, this is where you take profit and put an entry above the top. Now that'd be very, very difficult to do if you don't understand the way we trade. You may get confused with why the hell you're going to do that. So you may want to just move your stop and stay with the trade, because you wouldn't be able to manage. It's an optimization of profit process. And you have to understand how you're going to manage the next trade when it comes. Cadien. Okay, this should go up one more. It's coming down, so finally we're getting that. So let's see. It's going to go up one more, and then you can actually look for a buy setup. CAD Swiss. Okay, you don't have a trade. It did come down. We do have this one. I think we're going to go with an expanding flat here. Sorry about that. We're going to go for an expanding flat here, and then we will wait for a flag to buy. Actually, if anybody bought here, it's good, but there's a sharp move. So if it pulls back sharp, that would be a better deal. Right, if this pulls back like this really sharp, go with this one. Put an entry here and go for that trade. I'll put buy setup, waiting for a buy setup. Swiss yen. We're breaking out. This was a good trade here if anybody took it. Okay, that happened after we left the room, so I don't know if any one of you guys get it, but this would have been a good sell here. We're looking for this trade down, so it's going to come to about here and then upside. Anybody in that trade? Come on, you guys were in the trading room, right? All the guys, all our traders here. I see Joji. Joji was, were you in the room with the guys? I know Ivan was there and the other guys. Don't tell me they don't get that trade. That trade is amazing. And it's an easy one. So I hope they got it. We'll have to wait for the answer. It takes a while to come. So let's see. Natural gas. We don't have anything here. That's a buy setup. It's not valid. Let's look at some of these. US oil. US oil is still dropping. Wait for flags. If it breaks this level, wait for a flag. What you were saying is if it passed through this impulse. Now we know this is going to go down, but this sharp one is what I don't like. They can do that, do this, and then drop. So you want to wait for a flag here and then go for that trade. Wait for flag, sell. S&P 500. Okay. If you bought, I don't know, this was Friday's trade, I think. I'm not sure this was this morning. This was Friday. So what you're waiting for is for this to pull back here. See this piece here? Let it pull back like this, give you this flat, and then we trade that flat up. Right, we completed this one already. This became an expanding flat. It didn't drop. It might eventually drop, but not this one. So this might eventually drop after it make a new high, because it is going to make a new high. Just like this one made a new high. This was the trade here. We bought that. You close it, wait for this to come back, take this one, go up, drop. There is a trade to the upside. Nasdaq, buy setup, wait for it to pull back, buy. Wait for this to pull back here, and then buy. Sorry guys, my voice is just getting worse and worse. Okay, good work, Ivan. You got the CJ, GJ, and AJ. Well done. Okay, so let's go. US 30. US 30, we got this one. I think I would just let it break the top. Don't take the trade. It's a buy setup. I wouldn't take it. I'd rather take that because we have this here. Right? So if you're looking at these three and you have to buy S&P 500, we complete the flat, right? We have a complete flat here. See, we have a complete 1, 2, 3. This was a flag, and this is making a flat when it pulls back here. That's a small flat. That's for upside. That buy is good. Buy Nasdaq. Nasdaq has a complete flat. See, this has a 1, 2, 3. We're going up. This was a buy. You close that. Let this pull back. Go for the buy. Sorry, guys. Let this pull back here. Go for this buy. Upside. Don't buy US 30. It has a similar flat, but we have a problem. You see, this one is a full flat. This one doesn't have it. This one have one piece of a flat, and that is this piece. See? So we have this piece, we got to make this piece, and then we can go. This would be it. When we get that piece, then we'll go with that, right? So let it, it's at the top, let it pull back first, then go for that trade. So take this out, and take this out, and take this out. You don't need all of these here now. Let us pull back here, and then we're gonna get this one, and then we can go for this trade. So let's see. I need this one also. Yep, one more up. Let's go. When we get that trade, we would likely come and break this stop. See? So this trade might be a good buy to go and break that up. Once they pull back this much. They pull back like this, make this small flat here, and then we go for this trade here. So come back here and wait. Okay, what else we have? That is about it. So I'm going to do some of this DAX, by the way. I think we're looking for a trade in the DAX. Okay, we broke the top, but it's not going anywhere, so let's wait. We don't have a sell set up here as yet either. So let's wait and see. If it makes a flag, we'll sell it. If this makes a flag here, we'll start the selling. If this piece here makes a flag, which is in the process of doing, if we see a complete flag here, we're going for that trade. Right? Gold is a sell. We'll come back to gold. Let's do that. Let's see. Okay, we'll come back to all the cryptocurrencies after this. Let's see gold if it's a sell already. Sell from here. No. You definitely don't have a sell as yet. We're expecting a down move. I'm expecting this to come down here. But I don't see a setup for the sell. Even in the 50, even in the 5 minutes, we wouldn't get it. Nope, I don't see a sell setup here. This is coming down, but I don't think that is the one. It's going really slow. This one was a too deep a pullback. I wanted the flag here, and we got a deep pullback. So if you're taking the deep pullback with an entry here, this one is going, it could just stop here and go back up. If you want to take it as an aggressive trade, I see the point that it could drop. There's no setup, but it could drop. So if you want to go with a trade that's a very aggressive trade, you probably keep a bigger stop. Right, if you want to keep a bigger stop, yeah, maybe that could drop from here. Because we're expecting the move down before they go. I just don't see a flag, it's just a pullback. So, and they normally, sometimes they make a pullback and they go. So you have to work with that. Okay, let's go with the cryptocurrencies. Let's see. Bitcoin. It's going up as we expected. That is this piece. And then you need this move up. See that move up there? We need that move up. So there's a good chance it's just going to break this top, and then we're going to drop. Look for the sell setup. Go on the 1 hour, look for the sell setup. That is, you're going to let this go break the top here. And look for this sell setup. See? The same thing we should look for in Ethereum. Yep. If you're in the sell, close it, wait for this to go back up. It still think it's coming down. XRP. Okay, this doesn't have to go down. This is going up. You can see the flat clearly here. 1, 2, 3. This gives you a buy setup here. Take it because you're going out of the structure. So this has a buy setup. We can put this or a buy setup. This is the only one that has a buy setup. ADA, buy setup. By the way, you can buy. Remember we told you about this morning. You can be in this trade already, and potentially this trade is huge. Potentially it could pull back a little, but this trade is huge. Here's the thing. Let me show you in the daily. We broke the daily low, right? And every time you break the daily low, they tend to make a pretty big pullback. See? Tend to go pretty high. This is the daily low of this entire thing coming down. Yeah, correction is very likely. Even if they just make one spike up and then come back. It's a very good trade setup. And you have a 1 hour impulse. You have a 1 hour impulse up here, and you're getting a 1 hour running flat. So if you want to buy it, this morning I said you can put an entry here, you can buy it right where it is right now. They might get a pullback like this, do this, and then go, but who cares? Put a stop under the low. Right? Take me out under the low, or you can, depending on if you're buying without leverage, just hold the darn thing a little more. Right? Because you're getting it at a very cheap price here. This is about the cheapest you probably could get, unless you bought when it broke the low. If you were there and you saw it breaking the low and pulling back and you bought, you did the excellent thing. Because the point was go break that low and then come back. Watch all my webinars previous to this. Now, a few more properties breaking the low that hasn't broken the lows yet. I don't think this one has broken the low. It's still trying to go do that. Let's see. No, it has to come and break this low. So no, not as yet. This one. Yep, you broke. You need to break this low, not this low. So this is upside. This is a buy setup. If you want to look at this as a buy setup here, you can put an entry order right above this top here. I'll take this out. That was the previous low. We broke it already. So that could be a buy setup there, which means from this point we can totally go up. You have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3. Now you can also as well do this and then go back down. Right? There's a possibility we do that as well and go back down. There's a huge flat here. Right? There's a huge running flat in the middle here. If you put it like this. So we might make a 1, 2, 3, come back to this top and then go back down once more. That possibility exists. But you're going to make a 1, a 2, and a 3. So if you do a 1 alone, that's enough. Or you take off like a rocket. So this has a good buy setup. We'll put this as an aggressive buy setup. This one is an aggressive buy setup. Wrong one. Buy setup, let's go. LTC, what this has, nothing. Sell setup, stay out from this. This is not ready. BNB. Nope, we need to break this low, and most likely we need to break this low before we start looking for buy setups. I don't like the idea of buying it here. Let's see if they start to reverse, but I don't like the ideas yet. Okay, we broke the low. I think we did. We just needed to break this low, not these lows. I don't think we're going to break those lows. Right? I don't think they're going to break these lows. They're going to break this low, and they did. So if you start to get buy setup, you're looking for this trade up. You're looking for this 1, 2, 3 up. This is the trade you're looking for. So there's a good chance it could make a first spike, a pullback, and then go for this, giving you this flat in the middle, and then come right back down. All right, so that's the trade we're looking for. Let's come into 15 minutes. We have a buy setup forming. If this wick is true, I don't know if that wick is real. If that wick is real, you actually have a buy setup just above the top here. If the wick is real. If the wick is not real, then we have a sell setup, which means if this wick doesn't exist, and this is what we're looking at, this is going to go up a little, but that's a sell setup. If the wick is real, it becomes a buy setup. So we can put this as a buy setup. Link USD. The wick is not, the impulse is not so big, but it's a buy setup. Take it as a short-term one. I think we broke the lows. Yep, we broke all the lows there. Perfect. That's what you want. You want it to break the low. Now, how low it's going to go after that? I don't know. But any buy setup you get, you can take. Even if it's a flat for downside, you can get out of it for positive. So even if this is just making a flat for downside and you got 1 and you got 2 and it starts to go like this, right, you can, the downside, you can get out of this trade for positive. Worst case, break even. And the very last one would be this. Buy setup, but I don't know if this broke the low. So let's see if it broke the low. We need to break the bigger lows. So we go with this one here. Contracting flat in here for that one. I don't like this one so much, but if you know, and it's really at the bottom, but if you get a buy setup, go with it. Wait in the 1 hour, see if you get a 1 hour buy setup in it. Might be worth going for that. I can't say I like it that much, but so it has all the criteria for a buy setup here. Alright, so you can put an entry order here and go for the trade. That's a trade, right? So we've completed that. Now let's go back to the trading now. We've set up. What you see me do is I put all the trades that we'll be looking for during this one, right? The active trades. So when we come back in any other session or when we go into trading room, any updates will be valid with this. So tomorrow in the London session, when you join me in the London session, you will see me updating these very trades and we'll look for new trades. So we tell you in every given time what is happening to the trade. We don't just put trades and walk away or give you some signals which you don't know what to do with and then tell you, oh, we made so much pips. Right? Trading is not about making a good trade. I'm going to leave you with something that you never heard before. Trading is not about making a winning trade. Any fool can make a winning trade. To be a pro, you have to learn to manage your bad trades. It will all come down to what do you do when you're in a trade that is going against you and you're losing in it. What about if you have 10 trades that you're losing? I've seen traders who made 100 good trades and lost their account in 5 bad trades. Now, of course, none of you that has never happened to any of you here, right? Or none of you have ever been in that situation where one trade is wiping away 10 of your winning trades. I'm sure about that. Right? You guys, that didn't happen to you. But that happened to the majority of the traders who lose. They don't lose with a lot of losing trades. They lot with a few losing trades because they don't know how to manage it. Right? So it's all about, nope, it has nothing to do with execution. You want me to prove it to you right now? Here's an execution. We're going to stay right here right now. And I'm going to say to you, we can buy this right here and we can sell it right here. We can do both of those trades right now. And guess what? I could get out of both of those trades for profit or both of them for break even. The execution has little to do with it. It's about how you're going to manage your trades. Again, any fool can make a winning trade. You can just wake up, flip a coin, and buy this, and you will make a good trade. You will probably make a very amazing winning trade. The problem is traders are in profitable trade and they don't know what to do with it until it becomes a losing trade again. And then traders are losing trade and they're wiping their account out and they have no idea what to do. They start to panic and get emotional. And they still don't know what to do. Again, this is very, very counter to what you've heard all the time, because every guru out there is telling you how they're going to make you a successful trader and you're going to make winning trades. I'm telling you, I will teach you how to manage your bad trades. Because if you can manage your bad trades, your good trades are going to make your account grow. Right? If you can get rid of all your bad trades for break even or half of what you're losing, you will be successful. Any one of you here can make a good trade right now. And it has little to do with the execution. It has even little to do with the analysis. The analysis just gives you an edge. When we do this analysis and we do these strategies, it's to give you an edge in the market. It's to say, okay, this is the best way to look at it. So when I look at the euro this morning and I said to you, hey guys, be careful. This thing is just going to go to about that top break and come back. It doesn't mean you couldn't have buy it. What if you'd click buy here? You could make a trade. You made a trade. But you don't know where it's going, right? The idea is when it gets here, you're not closing that trade. None of you would close a euro trade that you buy here and is doing that. Now it come back here. Would you close the trade? No. None of you would close that trade. You know why you wouldn't close that trade? You just look at this. I had this profit in my hand, and now I don't have any profit. So you know what? I'm going to wait for it to go back. Maybe it's going to go back up. Yeah, maybe it's going to go back up, so I'll just wait. I have a stop, right? So I'm just going to wait. So what if it does and it comes to your stop here now? And you think, oh, maybe this thing is going to go back up. Let me take out this stop from there. I'll put this stop here now. So you were risking 1%. Now you're risking 4% or 3%. And what if it keeps coming down and it's here now, right near to where your stop is? It probably will go back up. So what you're going to do, pull this stop. Because you have no idea what you're doing. And you just made your losing trade the worst nightmare you're ever going to meet. Now, I looked at this and I know it's going to go break the top. Well, not know, I assume it could go break the top based on the structure we have. But I said that's not a good risk to reward trade. Just leave it alone. Wait for the trade that is going to give you good risk to reward. It's not every movement you have to jump into. See? So you become a pro trader when you learn to deal with the bad trades. How do you get out of a bad trade? So if you were in this trade, what would you have done? And most times, most of you would not know what to do, because every time they tag you in a trade, they will pull back against you. What you don't know is whether that pullback is a pullback to continue to go, or that is a pullback that is reversing everything. The only thing that can tell you if that is so is when you look at something called the patterns. When you look at the pattern and say, okay, what is this really doing? What pattern behaves this way? And how, if this is the pattern that I'm thinking, if I'm thinking this is making a flat, or it's making a triangle, or it's making this, how should it behave? And then based on that, you decide, well, okay, I'm in the trade. What should I do? What should I do with the trade? See? And that is where it comes to you being a trader. What should you do with any given trade you're in, whether it's a winning trade or a losing trade? That's what makes you a trader. Not flipping the coin or making a successful trade or executing anything. Not in your money management. Money management is just to protect you from not losing your account immediately, right? You can risk 20% if you want on every given trade. You're just going to lose it after 5 bad trades or 6 bad trades. That's about it. You'll not have any account to trade with. So money management is to say, look, I'm not such a good trader. I get a lot of losing trades. And I don't want to lose my account in a streak of 6 losing trades. I want to make sure that if I'm getting 6 losing trades, I can still trade tomorrow. So I'm going to use money management, and we have a specific way we calculate money management to make sure that it keeps you floating for a whole year, even if you lose all the trades, which is impossible to do. Right? So if you use the method of how we calculate money management, you could trade very long until you gain experience and learn to trade. Your account is still going to be there. That's the purpose of money management. That's nothing to do with whether you make a winning trade or a losing trade, or you make 2 to 1, 3 to 1, or 4 to 1. Nobody knows that. The guy who taught me support and resistance taught us this thing. He had a whole timetable. He had a whole table of how this thing is going to be accurate. When if you risk 1 to 1, right? If you risk 1 and you make 1, if you risk 1 and you make 2, if you risk 1 and you make 3, and then he had if you risk 1% of your account, if you risk 2% of your account, and on paper it all looks great. That if you risk 1% or 2% of your account and you go for 2 to 1, you're going to be amazing. You're going to make money. On paper, mathematically, that looks good. Reality, BS. Try trading with that in the charts. Try doing that in the charts. You wait for 2% and you end up with 2% lost, not 2% win. Now, do we get 2 to 1 trades? Very often. Sometimes you will get 2 to 1 with 3 attempts. Right? You're in a trade, it moves a less than 1 to 1, but it stops and it's not moving. Take it out, put another entry on. If it keeps going, and the next time it might move about 1 to 1. You take it out, you put the next entry, and that one goes again 1 to 1. Now you have in the same trade with 3 different entries, you have got more than 2 to 1. But every time you took it out, if it's going to drop deeper or it go back to where your stop loss is, guess what? You didn't lose. And that's the reality of trading. That's why it's called wave analysis and not straight line analysis, because it doesn't move in a straight line. Look at this thing. You see any straight line anywhere there? And you can look at the way we analyze it, and you can see that we figure out all the patterns. We figure out where it can stop, how it can turn, what it can do. Don't you think we knew this was going to come down? Go back and watch all my recordings when this was happening. When this happened, this was happening. They're all on YouTube. You don't have to guess. So, come back to the basic thing. What we basically will teach you to do to be a pro trader is to learn to manage your bad trades. That is something that we started to do a couple years ago. You might hear a lot of traders talking about trade management by now if you watch their webinars. Something they go back 2 years and they weren't talking about it. We started like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, where we were talking about trade management. And that came up because I did about 400 interviews with my traders, finding out what are their issues, where did they get it wrong, what went wrong for them if they didn't make money. I had one guy made 10 times his account and almost gave up everything, not almost. He 10 times his account and gave up everything. The only mistake he made was how he managed his trades. It all boils down to trade management. And we had that case, not as strong as that, but where traders make twice their account, three times their account, and they end up giving up a lot of it. Not the entire thing, but a lot of it. Because of how they manage their trades. The only problem I find with these guys were how they manage their trades. There was no trade management. And that became a big issue. Right? And then we started to come up with methods of how you're going to manage your trades. Because if you manage your trades correctly, then if you make 10 times your account, there's no way you're giving that back up. There's nowhere, I don't care what money management, I don't care what you do, there's nowhere you're going to give that back up using good trade management. So the method works, everything works, except now you've got to add things to it. So let's go. Anything else? Okay, Pong is coming down really strong. I really want the Pong sell. It looks like it's dropping and you may be tempted to jump in it. You may want to wait for a little flag. Because the minute you jump in, and this happens to a lot of you most of the time, you're watching it, and it's dropping, you're like, man, I'm going to miss this thing, I'm just in right now. And you click sell. And the minute you click sell, less than 30 seconds later, it starts to pull back. And guess what goes into your mind? Oh my God, the broker is going to go hunt my stop. Out you go. And then you watch it come back here. And you click again on it. And then you watch it go back up. And by then you're just in an emotional roller coaster. You're not trading anymore. And your brain can only work in one function. Your brain has two ways of working. Well, to generalize it. It's work the rational brain where you're thinking and you're making decisions, right? Of the subconscious brain. That is where the emotional part comes in. It closes down the rational part and you start working. The brain goes into auto function emotionally. The flight or fight mode, they call it. When you see something you're scared of, you're either going to fight or you're going to run. That's an emotional reaction. Your brain does not allow you to make decisions anymore because your brain thinks you cannot make rational decisions. You'll destroy yourself. So the brain is going to use all the knowledge it has to make its own decision. That's your own artificial intelligence in your head. It's taking control of you and says, run, you can't fight. Or if you can fight, stand up and fight. This is what you're going to do. And all of those will have to be auto-function because their hormones control. Right? That's why adrenaline pumps into the body and everything else starts to happen. Right? So trading should be rational. It shouldn't be emotional. Which means you always have to have a level of calmness when you're trading. And the only thing that gives you that level of calmness when you're trading is if you're trading with confidence, understanding what is happening in the charts. Even if you're losing the trade, even if you're in a trade that is going against you, but you understand what it's doing, you understand why it's going against you. You see a little green candle just pop up there, it's a good thing you didn't sell it, right? So you want to, how did you know the little green candle's going to pop up? Because that's what happens all the time. It makes a flag and then we get the trade. So that's the thing. If you start to understand how it behaves, what it's going to do, every now and then you might miss a trade because it didn't do what you expected to do. But good, it's better to miss a trade than to be in a trade and it's going against you. Who cares? You missed that one, go for the next one. But the point is, you're understanding why and how it's behaving, and you're able to make your calculations as to what and how you're going to trade it. This stream, guys, I am not sure what that one is about. I have no idea. And we're not really discussing people. We're discussing the general patterns. What happens? Right? It's more about issues that happens in Forex. It's about content, what people do, and not so much who does it. I really don't care who trades support and resistance. It's a useless thing to do. I really don't care who is selling you a set of fixed rules and that's all you need to learn for 30 minutes and then you'll become a millionaire. Because I actually saw an ad like that where one person was saying he became a millionaire by trading 30 minutes a day. And that's all you need to do. Well, if you buy into that, I don't know how much money you have to lose, but you're going to lose it. Because it's telling you that this thing is so easy. You need 30 minutes a day, learn this one strategy, and that's it. It's a fix. Well, why don't you go to, I don't know, go to the poorest country and teach everybody that strategy? And let's see what happens. There's about 1 billion people in the world who has 30 minutes a day to do that. But it's not going to happen, right? It can never happen. It's difficult. It's hard to do, but it's doable. Which it's like any profession. You have to learn everything into it, right? You have to spend hours learning how the charts behave, whichever you're going to trade, what time of the day it moves mostly, what patterns it creates more often, how far it moves when it moves. All of that stuff is what we do in the training session. There's a lot more to that we do. So what we do is teaching how to understand, how to read into the charts, and then how to use what strategy you're going to create. We have traders who create their own strategy that they're trading. Right? If you get the experience and you create your own strategy, the ones we're using are pretty simple. They're basic. They're the ones to give you more conservative trading, not very thing trading. That's a problem. I really don't want. We don't want to get to that lower point of it. But what we can do is for you guys is if you pay if you pay now, we will give it till the end of July. So anybody who joined now, from now to the end of this month, will get to the end of July. So you have enough time to. I mean, there are a lot of guys here who joined the last time, right, for the 2 months. Like I said, a lot of them already joined full time, and a lot of them will end up paying out full time very soon. So we can do that. If you have a small account, we can don't bring it down lower, but we can give you that first start. So you'll have a month and a half to make for the next month, basically. Gold, Joji, let's take a look at that. We have a trade there already. Okay, if you took the aggressive trade, good for you. Let it go. If you got in the aggressive trade for the running flat there, good one. I didn't want to put that out. Our traders should know they can get in it, so I don't go. It's an aggressive trade. I don't want the whole community to deal with a trade they might not be able to manage. But you guys got it. It's coming down here, and then from here we're gonna go up. Right? Just manage it carefully. So go for the sell. Sorry, guys. Okay, remember, if you miss any of the sessions, you can all watch them on YouTube. It's good if you guys can help share the links with other people. There are traders who might want to see the work we do. It will be up to them to decide if this is something that helps them, this is something that doesn't help them. But if you can share it, because a lot of traders have never seen this, right? Okay. Well, Joji, you're about to go to sleep, so you have to manage that with a lot of care. It's going. I think it will break the low before it. It will get to this level before you go, so you'll manage to close a profit before you go, right? Take it off a profit before you go to sleep. Okay, guys, I think a lot of our traders who trade the gold, if you trade gold often and you understand it, you should be in that trade. Because it pretty much does that often. Okay, any other chart? Okay, we can go with a silver sell. Silver sell just kicked in. Anybody? This is a normal one. Everybody could have been in this. You don't. This is not. This is a conservative entry. The silver sell is a conservative entry. It's not like gold. So this is a trade. I'll put it on. You guys should be in it. Let's put this so we can help you manage it tomorrow. Your entry is here. The stop is above here. We're going to this level. We're going to this level here. Back to the trend line, but from that point we will see if it breaks out. Right? The idea is to get it back to this level, but you want it to actually break out and come here. So I'm gonna put both levels. I'm gonna put it like that, and I'm gonna put that is where you get it to break even, or move your stops. But the real trade we're looking for is actually this one. Where is this? Sell. Yeah, this one. So we're gonna short that. Where's the short? We're gonna put this on. You're going to put it right at the top there, right where that one is. But the target is beyond this low, right? Beyond this low. So this is your target that you're trying to go to. At this point, you'll watch it very carefully. You should have had your entry order in that trade already. Yeah, I hope my voice can be better tomorrow. I'll see. I'll get some. Try to use some things tonight. See if that can make a better voice for you guys tomorrow. I hope it's clear enough for you. You know, everybody can understand. I didn't want to postpone it for another week because next week we have the course starting, and I've been putting off that course for a while, so we need to do it now. So any one of you who want to join us, send me a Skype message. You know my Skype, it will be in the description of all my videos. Send me a Skype message. We'll give you the details if you want to join the full course or if you want to join the installment program. I would say take a couple days more, watch what we do, and then you can make that decision. Let's go. Trades are going now. The setups are moving. We have watch the Aussie and watch in New Zealand for a flag. We don't have a flag on it. Watch Pong making a flag right now. If Pong makes a flag, it will be a sell maybe this afternoon, later tomorrow. You'll get a sell setup. Join us tomorrow in the London session and please share the news. Right? Any questions? Let's take some questions. We can take about 15 minutes of questions and then we're going to go. Any questions anyone has? Go ahead. Okay, let's put it back on the silver so that we can watch the silver go. Nobody, no questions? Yen is going up, but that trade is a really small trade. Unless you can really get in and get out really quick, and it's a good flat, it's gonna go up. But like I said, it's a really small trade to get only to this top. I don't think this one will break out because this looks more like a consolidation. And this deep pullback is pretty deep, so for conservative traders, stay away from it. Aggressive traders, you can give it a try if you want. Anything else? Come, let's go. Did I miss a lot of questions? If you had a question before which I missed, please post it now. Okay. So no questions, assuming everything is great. Trade with care. And if there's no questions, we can close the room so you guys can trade your thing. Let me see what. When do you have a running flat? Do sometimes enter at the 100% of the C? Or you always wait for a setup? That depends on the size of the running flat. We do not enter at any 100% of anywhere. I do not enter at any guess spot given where I think it's going to turn. That's too aggressive. Nothing's wrong with it, but it's way too aggressive and it's useless. There's no point in it. Let me show you why there's no point in it. So let's take, for example, let's go. Let me give you an example of that. I'm going to find a real one to give you the example so we wouldn't have to guess our way. Let's find a running flat somewhere. And I'll show you why there is no point in even doing that. So I have this is more than a running flat. I want just one single running flat that I can go with. Okay, where do I get one? You want to tell me where there's a running flat right now? Let me go to Pong. Has a lot of running flats, I think. Yep, this has a lot of running flat. Let's go. Here is a good running flat. Let's go with this as a possible running flat, right? So I'm gonna go 100% with this, right? So take this, and let's assume that at this point you know this was a running flat, right? You can say I'll put my entry order here, 100%. You'll probably have to put a stop here, right? And you're targeting this move. Because if you don't put a stop here, you don't know where this is gonna stop. Only if it breaks this, then you're saying, well, that is no longer a running flat. I can't, it's not valid. It could still come here and go back up, right? You don't know that. So you'll have to make sure you're keeping it at a safe spot, which would be here. So you're going to enter a trade and we're going to assume that we're going to assume we knew that this was the target. So we're going to go with that target. And we're going to long, we're going to put an entry here. We're going to put a stop under the low, under this low. and we're going to put a target at the top. So we're going to go with the target, and the target is at, come on, don't do that. And the target is at the top. Come on. And the target is at the top here. So we're going to assume that we know where the target is. That is where we close the trade, right? We close the trade here. We enter here. We put a stop here. Not a bad trade, right? 3-1. Let's assume you did that. But what if you done this? You said, I don't know that this is the low. So I want this to go up. I want it to make a flag. See this flag here? And I'm going to buy above that flag with a stop under the impulse. This is the impulse. This is the flag. And I'm going to go for the same target. We're assuming that the target is the same for both, right? But this would be my trade. Let's say you didn't take that one. Let's say you waited for this one here. So I waited for this one to happen. And I see this. And I put an entry order here. And I put a stop here. So we can go with that one for the same target. You get my point, right? Not only am I guaranteed that this, after this consolidation we're going to go, that's a more guaranteed trade. That's a higher probability trade than this one just stopping here and go. I don't know, it's going to stop there. You could have put the entry order here. You could have put the entry order here. You could put the entry order. You could put the entry order here. It might not go. 100%, I can give you a lot of them that didn't stop at 100%. Here is a good example. Let's go with this. You go with this, and you said, okay, 100% for the running flat, and you put an entry order here. You see what happened, right? But what we would do is we would wait for it to break out of this aspect. You see this consolidation here, that thing there? Wait for this flag. I could have waited for this flag. That would have been a break-even trade. I could have waited for this to come back and then go with this flag, right? All of these would have their own setups. The entry here, the stop here. The entry here, the stop here. If this goes and you still take the same target, the risk to reward is not only the risk to reward sometimes are much better. What is also much better is that you have a higher probability of a trade going after a flag than not going. Right? Once you get the flag, the probability of that trade going is much, much higher than assuming it's going to turn here. We actually sold this, you see? We actually sold that where your buy entry would have been. That is where they want to one. And we were like, no, that's a sell setup. And if it made a flag here, we'd still be selling it. It would be an expanding flat. So nothing is wrong with that. It's just very aggressive. It's too aggressive, and it's not a fact that they will go exactly to your 100% spot too. They might not even get to that point. Aussie, down looking for the latest pattern. I'm expecting at least a move down like this on the Aussie. On the daily, I think there's a good chance. I don't think it's going to go lower because this move, we wouldn't know if this is going up until we break through this impulse, right? Let it break through that impulse and make a correction here, and then we're totally going up. That's the total upside, right? Make a correction in total upside. As of now, it can still come down. But I'm not going with the downside as yet because this is a really sharp move up. So if we get a sell setup, we'll take it because there is a move downside we were expecting. That is this move here, right? We're expecting this move. So if I think it's going to make this move and I get a flag here, I could go for this trade. And if this is the top and we're going down, good for me. You follow? So I'll still wait for a flag before I jump into this thing. The way we look at wave analysis, you're taking out a lot of the guesswork. Right? You're taking out a lot of the work where you're saying, okay, maybe it could drop. Right? And you're just waiting for, let it prove to me that it could drop. That's the setup I'm looking for. New Zealand CAD, great, let's do that. I think the New Zealand CAD, if you guys follow us for the entire week, you will be surprised how we you will get a good chance to see how we trade this. So I'm still in a trade from here. This one, I've closed a few trades. I closed this one. I'm in this one. I didn't take this one because it's the same thing as this. Now I'm looking for a trade. I have an entry order here, but if this, and I think this one should probably come here and go back up. But if I see this consolidating here again a lot, I'll just take off the trade. Put an entry above the top and wait for the next move up. Can this come back deep? Well, if it's going to come back deep, what it normally does is it's normally come here and go back up there to drop. That's where I'll exit the trade, take my profit, wait for this to come, see how low it comes, and then trade it back up to the top. Right? So I'm still in that one. I'm holding on to it. Could it again? Yeah, it still looks upside, so I'm still holding mine, Joji. Let's see, because this is where you'll want to hold it for a longer period of time. See if it works. So I'm still holding on to that trade. Let's see. I will have enough time to close it. The worst case happen, move your stop to this level. Move your stop to here. If you want. So you will still book this profit. If it is still, if they drop really sharp. This is sharp, so I don't see them dropping really sharp. Sorry guys, my voice is literally. Okay. So go back to what trades trigger and what trades we're in. Silver triggered, we're in that. Gold is if you went aggressive. Right? If you went aggressive in the gold, you got it. Watch it when it comes to this level. Euro, wait for a flag. Wait for it. It's making a flag now actually. That's good. Let it make a flag here. We can sell it. Let me see if we have a 15 minutes flag. Almost. We almost have a 15 minutes flag. I wouldn't say it's ready, but you get a point. Give it an hour more, you have a flag to sell. Pong, wait for a flag. This look like it's moving really fast. I wouldn't like the idea of jumping in without a flag, so wait for a 15 minutes flag, take the trade. Aussie, wait for a flag. New Zealand, wait for a flag. If you get a flag, sell it. Don't jump into this because we don't know where it's going to go. Yen, probably stay away from it. Swiss, stay away from it. It's already at the top there, unless you get the turn and it starts to go. If it's gonna go up, let it break out, make a flag. You need to get the trade from here, right from the top of the running flat. That's your entry. If you miss that entry, then don't take anything. Let it keep going. If we're breaking out, we'll get a trade tomorrow. CAD, look for a buy setup. Not anywhere in here. Let it go out of the structure, make a flag, then go. And the rest of it, you know what to do, right? Euro Swiss close to breaking top. Let's see. Okay, you're in the trade with the thing. Let's go to the Euro Swiss. You're in this one, Euro Swiss. Good. So this was a buy this morning. Now it's a sell. So when it comes to the top here, let it break the top, Joji. Because if they're taking off, let's say if this morning this was a buy, right? If this is the flat, if that is the flat and we're going up, let it break the top. When they break the top, if we're making a bigger flat, if we're going for 1, 2, 3, then it will start to come down and then we'll see the flag here. So wait for this. When it breaks through the top, take your profit, go sleep. You did great today. John, what is the W for? Sorry. Weekly and something. I missed your question, John. What was the W for? Oh, natural gas? Sure. Let's see. It probably could go one more up. I will go with one more up from here. I know we want this to drop, but this piece is looking like it could go one more up, so we might end up with something like this. We might end up with something like this as a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing, and then go back to the top there before they drop. I'll go with that trade to the upside. For now, I'll only go with the upside structure. We don't have a sell setup in this flat, see? This flat doesn't have a sell setup here. So go with the buy, put an entry above the top and see if it goes. Above the last impulse will be good. If you can keep it above this one where we have it. It's still a good one if they go from there. Okay guys, anything else? So like I stressed, the number one thing you have to know is how to manage your trades. I will leave you with that because we'll talk about that the whole week. Tomorrow when we come back, we'll show you the trades, we'll show you how we manage them and what we do. Any questions before I go? We will start with questions, we will end with questions. Any questions? Go ahead. So, tomorrow bring all your friends over, all your trading buddies, Especially the ones who are skeptical about wave analysis and whether you can make forecasts, bring them across. Tell them to come with all the tough questions they have. We're ready. Take care, trade with care. I would see all of you tomorrow. Let me go see what I can do with my voice. So tomorrow will be a better day. Bitcoin, my friend, I asked questions for half an hour. You waited until I said goodbye and then you said Bitcoin. Don't be shy. Ask your questions immediately. Let's go. I'll get it. Let me go. I think we're getting some delay. It's about a 15, it should be about 30 seconds delay. Let's go, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going sideways. Like I said, they're going to drop. This here is going to consolidate. This is going to consolidate here. It could probably even go a little more, but then it's dropping. But when it breaks this low here, they could still go back up. It's in a big downwards, sideways corrective structure. This here. See? So they're going to go down a little more. At least this piece here is showing you a little more down. And then after that, this thing. We have 3 cryptocurrencies which we're putting buy on. That is XRP. You can put a buy in the XRP here. You can put a buy in this one here at the bottom here. I like this one more because, as a matter of fact, I like this one the most because they broke the low. See, these are coming from the low. Dodge is coming from the low. Sol is coming from the low. I think there's another one that broke the low. Which one? I think ADA. ADA is coming from the low. ADA, yeah, the ADA buy. You can put this ADA as a buy setup. I don't think it's XRP so much as ADA. ADA is not, XRP is not going from a low. So ADA is going from a low. It could probably consolidate here a while. They could, they could go sideways. They could come back here for a while. But it's a running flat and then they'll probably take off. I like the buy setup. Remember, this is the low. That's the low of the correction coming down. So this is a good trade. Actually, this is a very good trade. If you're looking at this trade in terms of you want short-term investment, long-term investment, just trading, it might tag you, like I said, because we haven't got this. So it might tag you, come back here. If you want to wait, put your entry out above the top. Now let it come down here first, do this, and then put your entry out above the top for this one. So if it takes off, it proves your trade, you're in the trade. If it drops lower, you don't care, right? So if you wanted, this was an aggressive entry. If you want, now we wait here, wait for this to come back because we were expecting it to come back from since morning. A small move down like that, give you a running flat, and then upside. If you're an investor, what do you care? Plus, minus, because you're not going to get it exactly the bottom here, right? You're hardly going to get that pick the bottom, but you can get it at a very, very cheap price of 27. If this goes back to the top of where it was, that's good, right? It was the top of this whole thing. Well, we're not going to get all the way to that top, but if this takes off from here, you can actually do something like that, even if you want to come down back, right? Who says this is not the one that goes? I like it where it is. Alright, so I think we can go up from here. There's a very high probability for that to go up. Let's see. At least a big spike to the upside and then come back. That'd be good. So I like this a lot. So we're managing these 3 trades as well, right? To see how they go. Any questions before I go? Okay, trade with care. See all of you tomorrow. Thanks for coming and have a great evening, right? CAD is coming back to the top only. Don't buy at the top of that thing until it breaks out. It's just coming back. We're looking for a buy setup, but you're still in this, you're still in that sideways kind of move, right? It has to prove that they're breaking out of it. Just breaking the line itself is irrelevant, right? If you put this, if you look at this piece here, it could come back to about this level here, make a flat and go. So I don't only want them to break out. I want them to break out and make a flag. Like literally break out of this and make a flag so that we can prove you're going up, right? Yeah, you're welcome. Because it can stop here and make another low and then reverse and make a flag and then go. So if this makes the flag, we buy it. If it doesn't, then great. Okay, everybody trade with care, right? So I would see all of you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Let's go.